1549, the Spanish conquistador Pedro Cieza de Leon stumbled upon a ruin so impossible the local Inca claimed their ancestors did not build it. They said it had always been there, shaped by gods in a single night before the sun existed. The stones he saw were cut with precision no European craftsman could match. And in the final minutes of this video, you will see why modern engineers admit they cannot replicate what was built at Puma Punku 15,000 years ago. Puma Punku sits on a barren plateau in western Bolivia, 12,800 feet above sea level. The air is thin. Nothing grows easily here. There are no trees, no soft soil, no nearby quarries for the hardest stones used in the construction. Yet scattered across this desolate ground lie massive blocks of andesite and diorite, some weighing over 130 tons. They were dragged, lifted, and assembled by hands that, according to mainstream history, possessed only stone hammers and bronze chisels. The official story is simple. Archaeologists credit the Tiwanaku civilization, a pre-Incan culture that flourished between 500 and 1000 AD. They claim Puma Punku was a ceremonial complex, built over generations by skilled artisans. Carbon dating of organic material at the site supports this timeline. The civilization vanished around 1000 AD, possibly due to drought. End of story. Except the stones themselves tell a different tale, one that contradicts almost everything written in the textbooks. The first crack appeared in 1945. Bolivian scholar Arthur Posnansky spent 50 years studying Tiwanaku. Using astronomical alignment of the nearby Calasasaya temple, he calculated the site was oriented to a sky that existed not 1,500 years ago, but over 15,000 years ago. His findings suggested Puma Punku predated every accepted civilization on Earth. Mainstream archaeology dismissed him. But his measurements, verified by German astronomers in 1928, have never been successfully refuted. Then there are the H-blocks. Dozens of identical stones, carved into the exact shape of the letter H, with precision so consistent they appear mass-produced. The internal angles are perfectly 90 degrees. The grooves are uniform to the millimeter. When placed together, they interlock like industrial components designed by an engineer. No other ancient site on Earth contains anything remotely similar. And no archaeologist has explained why a Bronze Age culture would manufacture identical interlocking modules. The stone itself is the next impossibility. Much of Puma Punku is built from diorite and andesite, igneous rocks rating between 7 and 8 on the Mohs hardness scale. Only diamond can cut diorite efficiently. Bronze tools cannot scratch it. Stone hammers shatter against it. Yet the blocks at Puma Punku are not merely cut, they are sculpted, with sharp internal corners, parallel grooves, and surfaces flat enough to lay a modern level upon without movement of the bubble. Several surfaces have been polished to an almost reflective finish. Engineers studying samples have described the smoothness as comparable to machined granite countertops. To achieve this with hand tools would require thousands of hours of grinding with abrasives finer than sand. Multiply that across hundreds of blocks, and the labor estimates exceed the total population of the entire region for centuries. Either the civilization was vastly larger than evidence suggests, or they possessed a technology no one has identified. The drill holes are even harder to explain. Bored straight through solid diorite are perfectly cylindrical holes, some only millimeters wide, running in precise parallel lines. The walls of these holes show no spiral marks from hand drilling. They appear cored, as if removed by a rotating diamond bit advancing at constant speed. The same technique modern industry uses today. Researchers who measured the holes found tolerances tighter than what could be achieved by any documented pre-industrial method. The largest stone at Puma Punku weighs an estimated 131 tons. The nearest quarry capable of producing such a block lies 10 kilometers away, across rough terrain that includes a steep mountain pass. Even today, moving such a stone requires specialized industrial equipment. The Tiwanaku had no wheels, no draft animals, no iron. The logistics, according to engineers who studied the problem, would have required tens of thousands of coordinated workers and infrastructure that simply did not exist in the high Andes. Mainstream archaeologists propose ropes, ramps, and rolling logs. But there are no trees on the Altiplano. There were none 1,500 years ago either. Pollen analysis confirms it. So where did the rollers come from? Where are the ramps? Where is the worn earth, the abandoned tools, the half-finished blocks that should litter any ancient construction site? Puma Punku has none of this. The blocks appear, fully formed, as if delivered complete and dropped into place by something we cannot identify. Then there is the destruction. Puma Punku was not abandoned. It was annihilated. Massive blocks lie scattered as if thrown by an enormous force. 800-ton stones have been moved out of position, tipped over, snapped in half. No earthquake recorded in the region produces this pattern. Some researchers believe the site was struck by a catastrophic wave, evidence of which exists in the form of marine fossils and sediment layers found at elevations they should never reach. Marine fossils embedded in the surrounding plateau tell a stranger story. Lake Titicaca, just kilometers away, contains saltwater species, seahorses, marine crustaceans, despite being a freshwater lake 12,500 feet above sea level. Geologists believe the entire Altiplano was once at sea level and was raised by tectonic activity. But the timing of that uplift, traditionally placed millions of years ago, may need revision if humans were already building cities here when the catastrophe occurred. The Aymara people, indigenous to the region, have lived in the shadow of these ruins for thousands of years. Their oral traditions are clear and consistent. Puma Punku was built before the Great Flood. Built by a race of beings who came from the heavens. Built in a single night by command of the creator god Viracocha. The Aymara do not claim their ancestors built it. They insist, with surprising confidence, that the builders were not human. Viracocha appears throughout Andean mythology as a bearded figure who emerged from Lake Titicaca, taught humanity civilization, then departed across the Pacific. Statues at Tiwanaku depict him with features unlike the indigenous population. He is associated with stonework, geometry, and the founding of cities. Whoever or whatever Viracocha represented in the memory of these people, the connection to Puma Punku is direct. The Aymara never forgot. And they never claimed credit. Posnansky's astronomical dating, published in 1945, calculated that the Kalasasaya temple at Tiwanaku was aligned to the solstice positions of approximately 15,000 BC. The mathematics involve the slow tilt of Earth's axis, a phenomenon called obliquity. If correct, Puma Punku and its sister site were constructed at the end of the last ice age, when most of human civilization is believed to have been hunting mammoths with stone-tipped spears. Posnansky was not a fringe theorist. He was the founder of Bolivian archaeology. Modern mainstream archaeologists reject Posnansky's date. They argue his methodology failed to account for ground movement and that carbon dates from organic remains at the site consistently return values under 2,000 years. Critics also point out that no human civilization capable of such construction existed during the Pleistocene. The counterargument is straightforward: organic material can be deposited at a site long after the stone was cut. The stones themselves cannot be carbon dated. The age of the construction remains, scientifically, unknown. In recent years, engineers and architects have visited Puma Punku to test the stones with modern instruments. Their measurements have repeatedly confirmed what defies explanation. Internal angles within tolerances of less than 1 mm. Surface flatness exceeding modern construction standards. Drill holes with perfectly consistent diameters. Several specialists, including stonemasons with decades of experience, have publicly stated they could not replicate the work today, even using diamond tools and computer-guided machinery, without significantly higher cost than building anything modern. Theories beyond mainstream archaeology fill the void. Some propose a lost civilization, advanced and forgotten, wiped out by the cataclysm that scattered the blocks. Others suggest knowledge from earlier cultures, perhaps Atlantis, perhaps something we have no name for. The most controversial theory points to contact with non-human intelligence, a possibility the Aymara themselves never doubted. Mainstream science rejects all of these explanations. But mainstream science has also failed to produce a working alternative that explains the evidence on the ground. What remains is a series of facts no one disputes. Stones harder than steel were shaped with precision that rivals modern machinery. Blocks weighing over 100 tons were transported across impossible terrain. The site was destroyed by a force no recorded event in the region could produce. The local population, for centuries, has insisted the builders were not their ancestors. And every attempt to fit Puma Punku into the accepted timeline of human development has required ignoring evidence rather than explaining it. If Posnansky was right, Puma Punku is the oldest stone construction on Earth. Older than Göbekli Tepe. Older than Sumer. Older than every civilization in every textbook. Built during a period when humanity, according to the official record, had not yet invented agriculture. The implications collapse the entire timeline of how we became who we are. Either we are vastly older than we think, or someone else was here, doing the building, while we were still learning to make fire. Puma Punku still sits there, silent, weathering under the Andean sun. The blocks have not moved in centuries. The drill holes remain perfect. The H-blocks still interlock. Tourists wander past, taking photographs, mostly unaware that they are standing in the middle of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries on the planet. The answers are buried somewhere in those stones. And someday, someone will look closely enough to find them. Until then, the silence of Puma Punku is its loudest warning. If this episode shook the foundation of what you thought you knew, subscribe to the Forgotten Archive. New mysteries every single day. In our next investigation, we descend beneath the Giza Plateau to examine a sealed chamber the Egyptian government has refused to open for 60 years. Hit the bell so you do not miss it. Comment below with your theory about who built Puma Punku. The truth is older than history, and we are only beginning to find it.